pass the floor to Dirk Vansintjan, who is president of REScoop.eu. Mr. Vansintjan, can you present to us, to all the viewers here today, to the 292 viewers with us today, the movement that you represent as president of REScoop.eu? What are also your expectations and the expectations of renewable energy co-ops in view of the Clean Energy for All EU directives, the Green Deal, and the European Action Plan for the Social Economy? By the way, before giving you the floor, Dirk, my colleague Nicholas Clark is providing support to all of you regarding the little technical issues with interpretation. And just to remind that interpretation, you can find interpretation in the bottom of your screen, right-hand side, and you can press in your favorite language. Mr. Vansintjan, the floor is yours, and thank you for sharing this presentation.
Good morning, everyone. I suppose you can see my presentation now, yeah?
We do.
Yeah, okay. So what is REScoop.eu? It was already mentioned by the president. We are a fairly new federation. It was created at the end of 2013, and we now represent directly or indirectly through federations 1,500 citizen energy cooperatives, REScoop we call them, and about 1 million citizens. But out there in Europe, there are more than 3,400 as far as we know. So we are, since a few years, recognized as a sector organization of Cooperatives Europe, which is the European branch of the International Cooperative Alliance. So where are these energy cooperatives situated? When you put them on the map, and here there are only about 320 who put themselves on the European map, you will notice it's more something of Northwestern Europe than of Southern Europe. And especially it's not something of Eastern Europe. So this is one of the big challenges we have as a federation to reach out to Eastern Europe and the Balkan. So what do? We represent the voice of citizens and citizen energy cooperatives to the European policymakers. We support the startup of new REScoops and provide them with tools and contacts, and we provide them with services, and we promote the REScoop business model throughout Europe, as I said. So this is also something which is not widely known, I think, is that in most member states, the energy transition is reflected in the tariffs of households and small enterprises on the low voltage grid. So these are the figures for Flanders in Belgium. So you see that very large enterprises, they are connected to the high voltage grid. They don't contribute at all to the energy transition, whereas the citizens and some very small enterprises, they do. So this is something to take into account. And this was by the previous commission with their Clean Energy for All Europeans package, which some directives were a consequence of. They understood. So they, for the first time, they talked about us not as customers, but as citizens. And when they launched the Clean Energy package, they used words as citizens at its core, where citizens take ownership of the energy transition and where vulnerable consumers are protected and are not left behind. And what's also interesting is that in all their images, there was a cooperative offshore wind farm of Copenhagen in the picture. So in these directives, we got two definitions. So we were recognized as a separate entity. So in one directive, we are called citizen energy communities. And the other, we are called renewable energy communities. And when we won't go into the details here, but the primary purpose of these energy communities is to provide environmental, economic, and social community benefits for its members or the local areas where it operates, rather than financial profits. What we try to do in our advocacy work is to put in all or most of the cooperative principles into these definitions. And we succeeded quite well, thanks to the European Parliament as well. So actually, in many countries, we are conceived as a new player, and there is a new game, and there's a new playing field, and indeed we think that in the future citizens and communities must become more active and be an active player and not a supporters looking at the game between authorities and market players. So and we think, and I wrote a opinion about it, that a resilient EU economy must be built on strong local communities. And that's where the energy transition offers a unique opportunity to take ownership of the production facilities of the future. And we must see to it that the profits, that the revenues stay as local as possible, citizens, local communities, municipalities. So what are the benefits? So the revenues, they stay local and they meet local needs. It's about ownership, it's about empowerment of citizens and local communities. So it's also a bit about economic benefits for the participants, but it is also about public acceptance. So if a wind farm is owned by the people living around, they like it. If it's owned by a big utility, they tend to hate it. So we have several scientific investigations now, research where it shows that the return to local economy is 3 to 8 times higher when the wind turbines, for instance, are owned by the local people. So it's also about what our members do. They link technical and social innovation. So this is an example from the UK, Repowering London and Brixton Energy, where installations of solar panels are combined with learning young people, unemployed people, how to install these solar panels. So it's about giving them a future job. How now we now have these directives. They now have to be transposed in all member states. Like in Eastern Europe, they don't really know what it is about. So we as a federation, we made a transposition guidance document. It's 100 pages long. You can find it on our website. And we are now trying to help our members and sympathetic supporters in all member states to have a good transposition, and so that all citizens have the same opportunities across the EU as we have had already to a certain extent in Northwestern Europe. There's a lot coming ahead. So we, as a small young federation, we have a lot of work, but we're not alone. We have very good contacts with the citizen Energy Cities, Climate Alliance, ICLE, all kinds of NGOs, environmental NGOs. And we are trying to do our best. And one of the very recent publications is a very interesting guide how to set up an energy community. You can also find it on our website or on the website of Friends of the Earth Europe. We hope that in April, late April, there will be a vaccine, and we will be able to travel to Copenhagen by train and have a big meeting together with the city of Copenhagen on citizen energy communities. And this is my last slide. That's how our movement grows. We follow the strawberry model. So a strawberry plant has sprouts, and the mother plant helps the young plant until it has roots and can grow itself, and then on its turn can have sprouts and cover the whole forest or the whole field with strawberries with energy cooperatives. Thank you very much.